What is up, YouTube family, and welcome back to another video of Carlos Garage. We are back in the garage today. We're gonna be working on the hatch. Couple things, wanted to bring everybody up to speed. We've been having some issues with the hatch ever since we went to that last car show. I noticed something on how it was running and I've been trying to figure it out. I get home and the hatch doesn't want to start. So I'm like chasing my head around. I'm like, what could it be? I'm checking spark, I'm checking fuel, I'm checking, everything that could possibly, ignition. And turns out it was literally just the upper clutch switch, which I ended up switching out. I guess the little plastic piece in the upper clutch switch went bad and it wasn't letting the ghost system turn the hatch on. So, started off, trying to do a bunch of crazy stuff and trying to figure out a bunch of crazy stuff, and it turned out it was something very simple and minute. Hopefully we can learn from that lesson, but it is running, but it's not running the way that we want it to run. So I'm not gonna lie, in the last video I had noticed this issue. It was the video where we were doing some paint work on the calipers and all that good stuff, the first time I had driven it to go get the materials for the calipers. And I kind of noticed the issue. So the issue was basically when I'm driving it and it's low RPM and I'm either in low RPM high gear or low RPM low gear, it starts to kind of sputter, right? So, and run rough, like the idle was running rough and all that stuff. So I went back to my basics and I thought, okay, it's either one of three things, right? It's either fuel, spark, which is like your ignition, or it could be something with a vacuum leak or something like that as far as the throttle body, so like your airflow. So I've started kind of there. The first thing I did do was like the easiest thing, which was to swap out the fuel filter. Sometimes you get bad gas and it ends up causing the car to kind of run a little bit rugged and all that good stuff. But I swapped out the fuel filter and that wasn't the issue. So moving on, basically I want to do the most basic thing to it to try to see if I can weed it out, right? So I am going to do just a simple tune-up on the car. So I'm going to start off basically doing a simple tune-up, change out all the fluids, so your oil filter, and then I'm going to do the antifreeze. Don't really need to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then also I'm going to do the spark plug change. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean the O2 sensor as well, and then I'm going to try to run it and see if it runs better. If not, then I kind of know where I need to focus my attention, and we'll get to that point whenever we cross that bridge. So the biggest thing I want to say is the issue is not a major issue, right? It's something that's going on, but knowing myself, like, I can't keep driving it like that because it just bothers the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. So this is the reason why I'm going through what I'm going through. Other than that, the car runs great. I mean, when it's under power and stuff like that, like it runs fine. It's just, I am who I am. And so it kind of bothers me to see it idle rough and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it. We're gonna make sure it's running good, tip-top shape for a little while at least. We're going into the winter, so I really didn't decide to do anything as far as the motor or anything like that. I'm gonna keep it the same way it is with the heat, the AC and all that. I just wanna make sure it's running good. And then hopefully we can figure out what we wanna start doing going into the winter and like what things we wanna swap out and all that good stuff. So just want to get it running good and make sure that we can enjoy it and that it's reliable. That's the main thing, is that it's reliable. So the first thing we're going to start with, we're going to do the fluid changes, the oil filter. So we'll do the antifreeze first, swap that out or at least flush it, and then we'll do the oil filter. Then after that, we'll work on the spark plugs. And the last thing we'll do is we'll do the O2 sensor, clean the O2 sensor and all that good stuff. And then we're gonna drive it and we're gonna see if it runs better. If it doesn't run better, then we know we have a problem either in airflow, or it could be distributor, it could be the cap and rotor, it could be wires, but I'm gonna focus my attention on airflow because basically I've addressed the fuel and then I've addressed the spark as well. So let's get to it.
Your body all over my mind. I got so high, I'm off my
So we were able to drain the fluid for the antifreeze, but I'm probably gonna have to get a new drain plug. This plug was broken. Right there. So the plug is broken. So it still works for now, but I'm probably gonna order another plug to make sure that we're good to go in that aspect. I'll tighten it down, make sure it's not leaking and all that good stuff, but this sucks. You know, when you got stuff like this, when you come across, it just makes an easy job harder than what it should be. And that's not what you want when you're working on cars. So the other thing is probably eventually I'm gonna get rid of that radiator anyways, because the radiator seems it's a factory radiator, but eventually, you know, I wanna do something aluminum or something like that, something a little more performance. But the good thing is I don't have to get the antifreeze hoses. The hoses already come with the car. So I'll probably just have to get the radiator and then the slim fan, or I might get a slim radiator and just swap that fan onto that radiator. But we'll figure it out when we get to that point. But yeah, I just want to show everybody that just to make sure you guys understand, like, it's very important for you to have the right things and make sure that you're, you know, doing these jobs with the right tools, which I always say. So the other thing too, this car, when I got under it, I see all the plastics, like the brand new plastics. So it's crazy. It still has all the factory plastics on the undercover. So I'm gonna try to salvage those as much as I can. But yeah, let's keep going. Should be draining here, or should be done here shortly. And then we'll add the new fluid after putting the plug back on, buttoning everything up on the bottom side, and then we can go on to the oil and the oil filter. All right, so I got the radiator plug, the bottom radiator plug back on. That's a plastic plug, so usually you don't want to use like tools to tighten it. It should be hand tightened. So I think whoever did it the last time, they tried to use like a plier or something to tighten it, and they ended up breaking the plastic. So I went ahead and got it back on. One of the things that I always do when I'm putting any type of fuel in, I always just put a little bit in first to make sure it's not leaking. Verify for leaks or anything like that, and then I'll put the rest in, because I've done this in the past. I've put in the antifreeze or whatever you want to call it, and the plug is leaking and it gets all over the floor because you put everything on. So make sure that you always check first, put a little bit in, and then make sure you take off the radiator cap to make sure everything drains out the way that it should be. So we refilled everything as far as the antifreeze. It's not leaking or anything like that, so we're good to go. Just putting this plastic piece back on, and then we'll be able to move on to the next thing. All right, so I got the oil drained. I took the filter off, and guess what? I had bought this STP filter. I can keep it for another time, but thank you, Silver Bullet. The Silver Bullet was a D16 as well, and I had an extra one of these Honda OEM oil filters, and then this is the one that I took off of the car. So I'm gonna use the Honda OEM one, and then I can save this one for a later date. Whenever I do an oil change, oil filter again, I can use that one. So a little bit of a savings. I was stoked about that. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do this right now. Almost there. Once we put the oil filter on, make sure the plug is good, nice and snug. Then we'll put the oil in, make sure that's all good. Should be like 4.2, 4.3 quarts in there. I usually just do 4 quarts and kind of, you know, measure it out and see how it looks. But everybody says something different as far as that's concerned. But anyways, don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. Then we're gonna go and we're gonna do the spark plugs, which is the last thing, actually the second to last thing. We're gonna do spark plugs, and then we're gonna do the O2 sensor. I'm gonna pull the O2 sensor out, and then we're gonna clean the O2 sensor. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep going. Everything's been going pretty well, not gonna lie. So we'll see how everything goes. Hopefully, once we do all this stuff, the car runs good, and then we're off to the races, like they say. So. All right, so antifreeze is done, oil change is done, oil filter. One of the things I noticed on the car though, I guess this is like the factory header, and it's literally, it doesn't even look like a 1-inch outlet on the backside. And then there's like a tying pipe that goes between the header and the catback, because y'all know I got the spoon, it's a 3-inch piping up to the spoon exhaust. And so like going from the stock header to a 2-inch to then the 3-inch, I don't know how that might work out. So I'm definitely gonna start looking for a header, because I don't know, I just feel like might be choking out the motor and stuff like that, which it's the factory stuff, right? This motor was only designed, it's a D15Z1, so it was designed for like 95 to 100 horsepower at max. So I want to make sure that it's getting all the airflow that it definitely needs. And just when I was doing the oil change and stuff like that, I noticed I started looking around and stuff, and I was looking at some of the ball joints and all that good stuff. So I noticed that header was very, very slim. So anyways, long story short, the car did come with NGK plug wires. I did get the NGK spark plug, so we're gonna do the spark plugs now. And then after that, we will clean the O2 sensor, and then we should be good. Then we're gonna take it for a spin. So hopefully everything goes well. All right, so a couple things that you need for the O2 sensor. You do need this socket right here. It has like an opening to it, so that you can get around some of the wiring and all that good stuff. And then it makes it very easy. I did get throttle and air cleaner, and then I did get electrical parts cleaner. And then also you need the spark plug socket changer. So, all right, we'll go ahead and get to it. I'm really hoping that this takes away what the car has. That way it's a cheap fix and it runs good for a little while more. I know that eventually it's gonna go bad on me, but I don't really care. It's a single cam and it's a stock single cam, so I'm not really worried about it breaking or anything like that. Worst case scenario is like the motor blows and all of a sudden, you know, we don't have a motor anymore. Then it'll just basically fast track my thought process as far as getting some more power on this thing. So we'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know once we get closer, but hopefully this fixes it. And that way we don't have to do too much to it. If not, then we're gonna have to figure out what we got going on. So, all right, let's get to it. So I'm looking at the first spark plug that I took out, and it doesn't really look horrible. I mean, yeah, it has a burnt tip on it, but it doesn't look terrible. So that's a little worrisome, because I could, really honestly, I could have probably cleaned this spark plug and put it right back in, and it would have ran perfectly fine. So we'll see how the rest of them look, but judging off the first one, I don't think that the spark plug is gonna be an issue, but we'll figure it out. All right, spark plugs are done. Now we have to do the O2 sensor, clean it out, and then I think we're good. But yeah, those spark plugs, they don't look that bad, so we'll see. And, we're gonna do the O2 sensor. I'm gonna pull it out right now and see how it looks. But we'll see. I don't really, if you can't tell, like, I don't really think this is the issue. I really think it's an airflow issue. It could be a bad fuel pump, but even still, like, I don't know. I don't know 100%, but we'll see. Hopefully it is the issue. Still keeping a positive outlook on it. Doesn't look horrible, but could use some cleaning. We'll see. We're gonna clean it up real quick and then we're gonna throw it back in there. All right, so we did the simple tune-up, spark plugs, radiator fluid, oil filter, and then we cleaned the O2 sensor. So, I mean, that's pretty much all you do when you do a simple tune-up. There's a couple other things, give or take. You could swap out the clutch fluid, you could swap out brake fluid and all that good stuff, but I don't think we need that. So, we'll see. We're gonna turn it on, we'll take it for a spin, and we are going to see if that fixed the problem. If it didn't fix the problem, then we know our problem lies either within the airflow, vacuum system, throttle body, could be throttle cable, could be literally anything, but at least we can weed out some of this stuff, process of elimination. So, all right, let's take her for a spin. All right, so we're gonna turn it on and see if it works. Hopefully it'll still turn on. So usually the car doesn't do it until the car warms up. The car's a little cool right now, so we do have to drive it a little bit just to make sure that it warms up, and then see if it does it. If it does it while it's cool, then we definitely know that it's not gone, but we'll see here shortly. Even if it does start doing it, you might not notice it because of the camera, but all right guys, so you know, the car was a lot more responsive. It did ride better, but like I said, we changed the fuel filter, spark plugs, oil filter, we did the antifreeze, and then we cleaned the O2 sensor, and it rode good for a little while. And then when it reached like that riding temperature, as we were getting back to the house, it started to do it again. It's idling rough too, so it could just be like bad vacuum, could be a throttle body, could be a sensor. But I'm thinking it's more due to like airflow or something along those lines. So we're gonna keep looking into it, and we're gonna make sure it's running good. But it is running, it runs fine. It's not gonna break anything or anything like that. Plus, for the amount that I drive it, I'm not really worried about it. Like, I don't daily this car or anything. It kind of sits in the garage. So basically, since the last time I drove was like 2 months ago when I came back from the show, and it's just been sitting in the garage. So we'll make sure that we keep looking into stuff. I could check the fuel pump too, just to make sure, but it starts right on the dime, it's responsive and all that good stuff. So I really don't think it's anything to do with gas or ignition. I think it has to do with airflow. So we're gonna try to figure that part out. And that header, ever since I looked at it from the bottom, is bothering the hell out of me. So stay tuned. I'm probably gonna end up getting some parts here coming up soon, just to give it a little bit more pep. Because if you know me, I gotta have like something. So anyways, don't forget to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. Appreciate you guys for joining us on this video of Carlos Garage. Please continue to give us your love and support, and we're gonna keep moving forward.